Since taking power once again, Donald Trump has been taking a lot of shots across different nations in the world, starting with Canada.
Why should we be subsidizing Canada?
Mexico.
Criminals, people from jails come through Mexico.
China.
China makes the fentanyl, gives it to Mexico.
Denmark, over Greenland, and now South Africa.
The South African situation is very, very dangerous. There's tremendously bad things going on, including the confiscation of property.
With a stroke of a pen and a scattering of water, Trump ended U.S. foreign aid to South Africa and signed a bill for white Afrikaners to be resettled in the USA. The order accused the government of the ANC of abusing its power to sign for this new law, the law which have the Extremate Act that Trump considers as the discrimination of the white minority in South Africa. According to Donald Trump, he believed that the government of South Africa is taking the land away from the white minority by force. He accuses the government of Pretoria, saying that they are allowing the killing of Boers in South Africa by black people. He then went to his platform of choice to Twitter all these things, saying that South Africa is confiscating land and treating white people very badly. He went on saying that it is a bad situation and this is a violation of the human right. So this is what Donald Trump have to give as his motivation to go ahead and put this firm order against the South Africa government, which was based by the fake news. Now, guess what? The Afrikaners, they have just rejected the offer made by the most powerful man in the world, Donald Trump. They did what? They did reject the offer made by Donald Trump. Oh yes. They did reject the most wanted visa around the world by telling Donald Trump that, thank you, Trump, but we're good. We're not going anywhere.
Why would you want to go? Hasn't been any really bad taking over of land. The people are carrying on like normal. And, what are you going to do over there?
And he had this to say about Trump cutting off aid to his country.
We all know how Mr. Trump behaves, so it's not, why should they do that? It is being spiteful.
Donald Trump must leave his things in America and we can stay in South Africa. I'm not a refugee. I come from South Africa. I'm indigenous from here.
He says that the government of South Africa is doing very bad things to you and your community. Is that the sentiment you have?
Well, no, our government is very good to us. They actually just fixed our road there on the gravel road, and they're building RTP houses for the people, and I think that the government is actually doing good for us now.
We have to state categorically, we don't want to move elsewhere.
We may disagree with the ANC, but we love the country.
There's major conflicts in many other countries of the world that actually deserve an asylum better than what we do in South Africa.
No, I can't believe this. For real, I can't still believe this. Afrikaners, they have just rejected the offer made by one of the most powerful men in the world. Not even Donald Trump see this coming. Oh yes, because when he made this offer, he was so confident that this will be an opportunity which these Afrikaners, they will grab it with two hands. But the reactions which are coming from Afrikaners so far, I believe it is something which have left Donald Trump shocked.
When Trump talks about expropriation, he calls it confiscation. A confiscation is when something is taken away without any due process, without any compensation. That doesn't happen in South African law. Expropriation is quite a normal legal process that governments around the world use, and the South African Constitution requires just and equitable compensation. So, in the way of hyping this up, Donald Trump is also othering South Africa, as if we do not have the kinds of legal frameworks that are equivalent to those both in North America and elsewhere around the world.
If you look at the data, in 2023, there were 49 murders related to people who work on these farms, right? In total, South Africa had almost 30,000 murders in 2023.
I actually doubt that South Africa even cares that much about South Africa specifically. This plays into his white voter base. they would probably identify with a mythical white tribe being under threat in Africa under a black government.
Donald Trump is showing the world on how racist he is. Because today is calling for white minority to go to America so that he will offer them whatever he wanted to resettle them in America. But do you still remember what Donald Trump had to say about black Africans who were seeking to immigrate in America?
The president of the United States is racist. A lot of us already knew that. Today, President Trump, talking with lawmakers in the Oval Office about immigrants from Haiti, from El Salvador, and Africa, said, and I quote, "Why are we having all these people from countries come here?"
Let's be clear. The only asshole I see on this planet is Donald Trump's mouth, okay? Once again, for the final time, racist, bigoted white people are and will be referred to as crack-ass crackers and white devils.
Oh yes, he's the racist because his actions speak louder than anything. Remember, Donald Trump is the one who had called black Africans as an asshole.
President Trump tonight ignoring questions as outrage grows after his vulgar insult calling African nations assholes, while suggesting the U.S. should accept more people from places like Norway. This morning, the president tweeting a vague denial, conceding his words were tough, but saying this was not the language used. Democratic Senator Dick Durbin, who attended Thursday's Oval Office immigration meeting, insisting the president did use that word repeatedly.
In the course of his comments, said things which were hate-filled, vile, and racist. I cannot believe that in the history of the White House, in that Oval Office, any president has ever spoken the words that I personally heard our president speak yesterday.
Donald Trump referring to Africans as an asshole back then in 2018 and seeing him today coming forward to choose a part of Africans, yet because they are white people, you want to give them a free visa in the USA. Well, it has raised up even more polemic among people, and Trevor Noah could not keep quiet about it than to just come.
You know what? I hear all this stuff about Donald Trump saying that he's the #1 person who's going to make America great again. He's the #1 person who's going to take this country to where it needs to be. Hey, Donald, let me talk to you for a second. Hey, Donnie, come over here for a second, man. Okay, let's chat. Mr. Trump, I've got so many billions that I can't even tell you how many billions I have because I don't want to release my tax returns, even though an audit doesn't actually mean you can't release your tax returns because that has nothing to do with being under a fucking audit. Let me tell you something, Mr. Trump, oh, my name is not everything, even though I don't own most of it. Let me tell you about the greatest country in the world. The greatest country in the world is the country that accepts people who come in from everywhere in the world, Mr. Donald Trump. And I know you think half the country is a basket of deportables. Yeah, I said it, deportables, not deplorables. But the good people of America know the greatest country in the world is the country where you can come in and create anything. I'm talking about coming in and creating Google, one of the most powerful companies in the world. Let me tell you about the greatest country in the world, Donald J. Trump. The greatest country in the world is the home of Steve Jobs, a man whose family were refugees who came to this country from the place that you're trying to shut down. You know who came from Syria? The iPhone came from Syria, Donald Trump. The same iPhone that you tweet shit about the refugees on. So every time you tweet with those fat little tiny fingers of yours, you should be saying thank you to them for giving you that same phone. Mr. Donald Trump, Mr. I don't like what's happening in this country. Mr. I'm going to make America great again. Hey, let me ask you something, Donald Trump. How can you make something great if it's already great, huh? Oh, what are you going to do next? Make Beyonce sexy again? No, because you can't, Donald. Because you can't. Because this country is already one of the greatest countries. It already is. Do you know what that word means, Donald? Already. It means already. As in we're all ready for you and your alt-right, which is not right because it's all wrong. So let that soak into your stupid head, Mr. Donald Trump. The fact that a South African can be sitting in this chair that was once run by an American and can be telling you all of this proves how great this country is. You got your wife from a foreign country, Mr. Donald Trump. Oh, what? You don't want refugees because you don't want everyone else having a beautiful wife? Is that your big secret plan, huh, Mr. Donald Trump? Huh? Well, if it is, well played, buddy. Well played. Yeah, because we're onto you and all of your bullshit. And for all you've been saying you have a problem with people of color, maybe you should look in the mirror, asshole, because you got the most color of all. That's what was on my mind. I'm Trevor Noah.
Guys, the move made by Donald Trump, it is actually confirmed on what they usually say that money has power. Look at how a head of the state is being manipulated in the White House. We sleep and wake up one day just to find out that no, Donald Trump is saying, I quote, they're taking land from white South Africans. I thought maybe we're having some xenophobia attacks or here and then, just to find out that all this is just speculations, which Donald Trump is being influenced by his friend Elon Musk, who's a beneficiary of apartheid regime. How could Donald Trump think in such low space of saying that no, white South Africans are being mistreated and they are taking their land away from them?
Terrible things are happening in South Africa. They're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
Maybe Donald Trump does not understand the history of South Africa. Maybe Donald Trump, he have not an idea of how apartheid regime did react and did bad things to South Africans. Maybe Donald Trump needs someone to teach him a history lesson of South Africa in order for him to understand that they did not take any land from white people and they are not mistreating any white person in South Africa.
He says that the government of South Africa is doing very bad things to you and your community. Is that the sentiment you have?
Well, no, our government is very good to us. They actually just fixed our road there on the gravel road, and they're building RTP houses for the people. And
Mr. Trump, if you are talking about mistreatment of a white minority in South Africa, can you also tell us of what had happened back then? Mr. Trump, in case maybe you are being misinformed, in case maybe you don't know the history of South Africa, let me relate something small in order for you to understand of what had happened in South Africa. South Africa is a nation of Bantu who were living here for the entire life. I'm talking about centuries and centuries. These people you are pretending to fight for today, they were coming from somewhere. Some they came from Ireland, some they came from England, some they came from France. In short, most of them they came from Europe. When they came in South Africa, they found there were a group of people who were living in South Africa. They found them with their belongings and they took it away from them. They chased them away. Mr. Trump, are you aware that these people, when they arrived here, they had chased a lot of black South Africans to remove them from their home so that they can take this land by force and give it to the people whom they feel like it was good for them to be having it? Do you know about that? I doubt. Do you know that these people, they have treated South Africans in the bad way to the point of making two toilets, which one belongs to the black South Africans, those who are workers, and other ones which belongs only to white South Africans? Did you know about that? I doubt. No black man was allowed to use a toilet of white people. Whether it is a public toilet, whether it is the inside toilet, it was all in very hard in the way that if you are so depressed, if you want to use toilet and you are not in the right place for you to use a black toilet, then which means you are in trouble. You will have to hold all your shit and wait until when you arrive to a place where it's allocated for black people to be using their toilet. That's where you will use it. Can you have an idea of what kind of pain which these South Africans back then used to go through? Mr. Trump, you're talking about the mistreatment of white South Africans. But do you know that it is in this same country whereby black South African women, they were not allowed to use or to wear high heels? Oh yes, they were not allowed to wear any long shoes in front or when they are around white women. If a black woman wore long heels and start walking in the passage, you will see every white lady raising up their head to see who's passing in the passage. If it is a black woman, that woman should be punished. Did you know about that? I doubt you did not know about all this. Did you also know that these same people that you're trying to defend today, they had chased black people from their home and chase them outside of their land, choose a certain kind of area where these people, they have to live, and they were not allowed to come where they are. If they have to go where they are, you must have a proper reasons. The black people, they were allowed to be where there's these white people only for them to be their gardeners, for them to be their housekeepers, for them to be their labor, like doing all this kind of constructions and mining stuff. Did you know about all that? And these black people, they can't leave location to come in town without having what they call passbook. Not passport, but passbook. This passbook, it's been given to the rightful owner of the South Africa land. That in order for you to come decide, you must show this passbook. In this passbook, it is what all your details was laying, because it is there where they will tell where you are going to work, what are you doing, who are you visiting. These are the things people who came from other part of the world to come and impose it to the owner of the land. Did you know about that? Mr. Trump, did you also perhaps know that back in the time of apartheid regime, black South Africans, they were not allowed to go to the same school with white children? And this land that you are talking about today that they're taking away from them, did you know that the rightful owners of this land, they were the one who were busy working in these farmers as laborers, as helpers in most of these farmers, and they were receiving a so bad treatment from these people? Where were you, Mr. Trump? Tell me, where were you when all this was happening? Today, South Africa has become a democratic country where there is everyone, white, black, colored, Indians, every race, they are united and they are seeking to see on how they can advance this beautiful nation to go forward and grow up its economy. You are coming with this kind of speech to put conflict among black South Africans and white South Africans. For what reasons? Don't you know that if there are people who have done a lot of harms to other people, it is these same people that you are trying to defend? And just because of the kindness of black South Africans who have understood that let us let go of the past and focus on the future, and they accepted to sit on the one table and did what they call reconciliation in order for this nation to be united today. Why are you trying to throw away everything which have worked so hard for the past 30 years in order for this beautiful nation to be together as it is today?
So today, we are being threatened with sanctions because we said let's expropriate land without compensation and give it to our people. You can be guaranteed, fellow South Africans, I will never be bullied by Elon Musk or Donald Trump. Because I've never done any crime to anyone. As of yesterday, I was in an auction in Rustenburg of Peter de Dwight. In that auction, 95% of those people were white people. I sat with them from 11 o'clock until 6 in the evening, wanting to demonstrate to Elon Musk and Donald Trump that I'm with the people you are saying I want to kill. Why would I sit with these white people if I want to kill them? Why do you make me an international criminal for asking for dignity of black people? I've not committed any crime against anyone except to say, let's restore the dignity of black person. If you don't have the land, you will never have dignity. And I was saying to those white people yesterday, you are not going anywhere because it's nicer in South Africa. There is no any other place which is more nicer than South Africa, where black and white can coexist without problems. The only thing you need to change is your hearts. You must learn to share and share the land with the rest of other people.
Honestly speaking, if I was Donald Trump, I was not going to be jumping in the front line and just say whatever I have to say, because there is someone called by the name of Elon Musk who's a apartheid beneficiary, and just because he's a racist who have to come and whistling Donald Trump's ears and telling him lies and do all this bad propaganda towards South Africa, then I should just stand up and make a declaration. No. If I was Donald Trump, I'm supposed to be more careful on what I have to say concerning a country, a nation such as South Africa, because whether we like it or not, South Africa, we've been through a lot, coming very long way, and we have deal with a lot of things. Donald Trump now is coming and trying to divide the nations by making serious lies concerning the problem of land. Guys, come to think of it, this so-called land, no one should not come and lie to you and say that no, they have taken land away without compensation. Instead, the government have done things in a very easy way, which is still benefiting the Afrikaners. If this land were to be taken in a very harshful way, then that would be the MK of Jacob Zuma or the EFF of Julius Malema, because with them, they are very straightforward. But the ANC policy, they have even tried to compromise a lot of things so that at the end of the day, everyone should be win-win. Donald Trump should be someone who's supposed to be thanking the government of the ANC. Should have been someone who's supposed to be congratulating people of South Africa for their love and their support and their generosity toward these people, and not to come in saying things which does not even have proof. If Donald Trump does not stop this kind of behaviors, if he continue with this kind of attitude, he will end up making serious big mistake, and this mistake, it will cost him again in his second term. Because whatever he has said so far about South Africa, everyone around the world, black or white, they have stand against him, because they were like, no, this is not fair. They could just see that, no, this man, he has something against South Africa. And all this just because South Africa decided to take Israel to the International Criminal Court. So he kind of like punishing South Africa. And he could not have any reasons or any motivations beside the one his friend Elon Musk have to come and tell him. Guys, feel free to give us your thoughts in the comment section. Tell us what is in your mind. Tell us what you think. Now that Afrikaners, they have decided to reject the offer made by Donald Trump. What next for Donald Trump? What next for the Afrikaners? Because the Afrikaners, they have just realized that they can't go anywhere. Their life, it is here. You guys, you heard Julius Malema even reminding it. Julius Malema, who had to pass a message to Donald Trump and Elon Musk that you are trying to divide us, but I don't see us getting dividing at all, because at the end of the day, we need each other. So please share your thought with us. Tell us what is in your mind. We'll be looking forward to see your thoughts, and give us your thumbs up. Like this video in your numbers, we really do appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel by hitting that subscribe button, so that whenever we're here live, you'll be able to catch up from us. I believe that will be all for now. Continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.